Emerging tonight following Tuesday's deadly terror attack in New York City. 8 people killed, more than a dozen hurt on Tuesday when a guy mowed over pedestrians with a rented truck from Home Depot. Now President Trump is once again weighing in on what he thinks should happen to the suspect. Trump tweeting today that he would, quote, love to send Sayfullo Saipov to Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, but wants the death penalty instead. Saipov faces federal terrorism charges after using this rented truck to hit pedestrians on a popular and crowded bike path right near the World Trade Center. Investigators say he carried out the attack in the name of ISIS and had been planning this for nearly a year.
We've been renting the same truck, the same model truck for the past 3 weeks.
Gist of the note was that the Islamic State would endure forever.
The federal complaint against Saipov says he intended to use the truck, quote, to inflict maximum damage against civilians, and he chose to strike on Halloween because he believed there would be more civilians on the path at the time.
Now, 4 in Your Corner is working to gather new information about Saipov's connection to Southwest Florida. At one point, he called Fort Myers home with listed addresses at Gulfstream Isles just off Summerlin Road and the Positano Apartments, which are off Colonial Boulevard. Meanwhile, a person of interest linked to the attack also has ties to Fort Myers. Records show Makhamadzwar Kadyrov once lived at the Lakewood Village community. This revelation has board members there thinking about increasing security.
I will be visiting with the other board members and see if we can't add some extra levels of vetting, if you will, before we allow renters into the community. It is frightening.
Now, investigators say Kadyrov has been located. They have him in custody, but at this point it's unclear what involvement, if any, he may have had in the attack in New York.
And now the local Muslim community is experiencing some of the repercussions of that terrorist attack, perhaps. Investigators now trying to figure out who vandalized a mailbox at a Muslim place of worship in Fort Myers. It happened this week at the Mosque on Broadway, and tonight, 4 in Your Corner's Karis Belger speaking with some religious leaders who say those acts of terror do not represent the core values of Islam. Karis?
Patrick, I spoke with a local Islamic religious leader today, and he told me that attacks like the one in New York go against every foundation in his faith, and he hopes that people in the community will see that and that his community will simply be able to practice their faith in peace. This is the mailbox post where Imam Qureshi usually picks up the mail for the Islamic Center of Southwest Florida. The box is usually attached to this post. It wasn't there Wednesday afternoon.
I went to my own Broadway side to check my mail, so there was no mailbox. So the mailbox was missing, but finally we found it on the bushes.
It's not the first time Imam Qureshi says he's experienced an attack. After the Pulse nightclub shooting, he says he endured more personal attacks than the one at the Islamic Center.
So the white supremacist, and he come close to my car and he start cursing me.
After this most recent attack, Qureshi says he's had to make changes to his routine. He says he used to walk from his house down Hunter Street before prayers every day. He also used to walk around his block to clear his mind. The president of the center's board has told him not to do this anymore for his own safety. He's also had to go to extreme lengths to make sure he's not noticed when he's on the property. The Lee County Sheriff warning him that he's a target.
The sheriff department gave an instruction, do not put any sign so they can recognize you, you are the imam.
Qureshi says the attacks in New York don't reflect his beliefs or his faith's teachings. He's not blaming the community for what happened to his mosque.
I personally attacked and my center is attacked. So I'm not blaming Christian people, I'm not blaming the Jewish people, and I'm not blaming the Fort Myers people, you know.
Now, Imam Qureshi says that he intends to make a speech tomorrow at the center during a special prayer service where he will further condemn the actions of the terrorist in New York. Live in the studio, I'm Karis Belger, Fox 4 in Your Corner.
All right,